How to Fight. By Withered Rose. A few events took place the past few days. First, and most importantly, I saw my first Grateful Dead cover band. Church friends, The Dead, Jameson, and food trucks make for a great day. CPAC also went on, with a speech by Viktor Orban about how to fight, and, of course, one by Donald Trump. We will be combining the two in a bit, and then Yarvin/Moldbug took another shit, proving, yet again, what I said on June 24th, which is now a holiday in my house. I know that many of you read Yarvin, even if you are not fans, so I figured some of you needed a palate cleanser from a man telling you that saving millions of babies' lives is not a win and molesting Tolkien's great trilogy to do so. How to Fight. Every election cycle, conservatives get outraged at how America is getting farther and farther away from the two pillars of our country, common law and Christianity. Common law is what makes us the land of the free, as it allows the simple juror to overturn an unconstitutional law, and Christianity provides the virtues needed for common law to operate. Sometimes conservatives win and they take one or more branches of government, be it on the local, state, or federal level. I have seen this happen a few times in my lifetime, and those older than me have seen it many times. Not a lot changes, however. There might be a temporary stop of the leftward drift, a movement of the Overton window, or an upswing in the economy. Yet, once the next cycle comes around, and when the conservatives are voted out by a passionate left-wing base, then things go back to normal and the left doubles down. Some, like our friend Yarvin, thinks that the answer to this problem is monarchy. If elections could cease once our guy attains power, the argument would go, then our program could not be overturned. It is not just Yarvin, many on fascistic side of the right would agree, and throughout American history monarchical hopes were cast upon Lincoln, Grant, Teddy, and FDR, all of which were supposed to use unprecedented executive authority to make matters right. Here at Scattered Roses we have a different solution. Viktor Orban told CPAC attendees that to beat the left, conservatives must play by their own rules. To play by the left's rules is to lose. Donald Trump, in his speech, gave the perfect example of playing by your own rules. When he asked Mexico to lend 35,000 troops to prevent illegals from crossing into America, the president of Mexico laughed, but then, in 1 minute, was groveling and saying how honored he would be to send the troops. What happened? Trump said that if the Mexican president did not comply, he would put a 25% tariff on every product imported from Mexico. Either you play my way, or I will bankrupt you. Trump did not play defense, he was either going to get what he wanted, or he would strike. We should take this principle and amplify it. Conservatives must uproot every weed, never being content with trimming it down a little. Instead of playing defense on education, which looks like banning CRT, we should drop this label by the by, just call it what it is, teaching children to hate themselves for their race. Conservatives should play offense, which looks like giving the funds allotted to each student for public school, $15,000 per year on average, to families to use for private school, which is cheaper than public school in most states, or homeschool. As Israel plundered the Egyptians before they fled, so conservatives should first bankrupt enemy intuitions, then take every last penny before going off to their own institutions. Instead of playing defense on gender, which looks like banning drag queen story hour, conservatives should play offense, which looks like, on the one hand, arresting any person who appears in drag in front of children, instituting a death penalty for anyone convicted of sexually abusing a minor, and, on the other hand, levying a 1% sales tax on all chain stores with the revenue going into a fund to be accessed to young families trying to buy their first house and for providing maternity leave. Perverts must either be locked away, or shot, and young families, especially in today's economy, must be helped. We will punish you if you try and hurt the family, but we will do all that we can to help you if you are a struggling family. We could even take a page from Orban and forgive all student debt for mothers upon them having their third child. Instead of playing defense on immigration, which looks like building a wall, conservatives should play offense, which looks like eliminating the desire to immigrate. People immigrate because they are in a bad situation, and they are looking for a better opportunity. If Mexico and South America were relatively safe and had decent jobs, then those seeking to immigrate here would decrease. American companies could be given subsidies if they opened plants and offices in Mexico and South America, on condition that workers are paid more than the workers of any other company in the region, are given health care and a 401k. Yes, the demand is high, and yes, we are paying companies to take jobs overseas. Yet, money will pour back into America as American companies are still making a profit, and there will be less immigration as the need to immigrate will dry up. When it comes to crime, the next president should tell the president of Mexico that if he does not crack down on crime, American soldiers will be sent to stabilize the situation. Chances are crime will simply go behind the curtain, but as long as the average Mexican does not have to worry about being shot, then the goal is accomplished. Instead of playing defense against corporations, which looks like bitching on Twitter about how Amazon funds BLM, conservatives should play offense, which looks like trust-busting left-aligned corporations and putting them under the ownership of trusted conservatives. Break Amazon up and make patriots the CEOs of the splinters. Amazon, Walmart, and Starbucks are already too big to begin with, and should be broken up regardless of political persuasion, but that they are funding our enemies, that we are paying them with our tax dollars to do so, makes them the first on the list to be whacked. That we must fight. Every day we get farther and farther from common law and Christianity. Every day our country becomes more and more unrecognizable due to unfettered immigration. Orban saw communism in Hungary, and he sees it rearing its head again here in America. That conservatives are still playing defense is scary, that people are listening to Yarvin is even scarier. Our very own Barack Obama launched his senatorial campaign from the house of Bill Ayers, the former leader of a communist terrorist organization that bombed the Capitol and hundreds of other buildings. Wake up, folks. Evil is quick to organize because it lusts for power. Good does not lust for power, so it takes a while before it can properly organize. Conservatives will win, American will not fade away, for the wisdom of Solomon teaches us. 9 All those things have passed by like a shadow, and like news that escapes notice. 10 Like a ship that passes through the waves of water, which after passing through, no trace can be found, nor the pathway of its keel in the waves. 11 Or like a bird, when it flies through the air, no proof of its journey is found. And the light air, whipped by the beating of its pinions, and divided by the force of its rushing motion, is traveled through the movement of its wings. But after this no sign of its approach is found therein. 12 Or like an arrow, when it is shot at an object, the divided air immediately comes together, so that no one knows its pathway. 13 Thus we also, after we are born, come to an end, yet have no sign of virtue to show, but have been entirely consumed in our vice. 14 Because the hope of the ungodly man is like dust carried by the wind, and like a light frost driven away by a storm. It is dispersed like smoke before the wind, and it passes like the resemblance of a guest, who only stays one day. 15 But the righteous lives forever, and their reward is with the Lord, and their care is by the Most High. 16 Therefore they shall receive a kingly dwelling of dignity, and a crown of beauty from the hand of the Lord, because he will shelter them with his right hand, and protect them with his arm. 17 And he will take his zeal as full armor, and will turn his creation into weapons against his enemies. 18 He will wear righteousness as a breastplate, and put on impartial judgment as a helmet. 19 He will take holiness as an unconquerable shield. 20 And sharpen his relentless wrath for a sword, and creation will fight with him against the senseless. 21 Well-aimed flashes of lightning will strike, and leap to their object as from a well-drawn bow of clouds. 22 And hailstorms full of anger will be hurled, as from an engine of war. The water of the sea will be vexed with them, and the rivers will wash over them severely.